Welcome to Trauma Recovery Anonymous, the podcast. My name is Richard and I am your host. Who wouldn't be anxious? Let's start somewhere that really matters. At the heart of an anxiety attack. It's like you're on your own against the world and nobody understands. No one gets it. No matter what you do, your best efforts fail you. You know you're doomed even before you start. Try as you might. Your best efforts fail you time and time again. You know it's going to get worse. And no one understands. Your parents tell you, snap out of it. To get a life. I'll give you something to worry about. But they have no idea what it is like for you or I in this situation. No idea, and I can't explain it to them. No one understands how frightening and overwhelmed I can feel in this instant. And the instant lasts forever. It's all so hopeless. I am without hope. I don't even know where to start. It all seems so pointless. And so I stay here, stuck in the dread and uncertainty, with no way out, utterly devoid of any concept of a solution on the horizon. And then I listen to this podcast, and I'm confused. How can this perfect stranger know my insides, and why write about it? Unless, of course, he has a solution. Unless he's been put in my path for a reason. When there is a simple solution at offer that I thought beyond me, well then hurry up and don't keep me waiting, hanging on by the fingertips. What is the solution? I am willing and open-minded to listen thoroughly to your solution, Richard, because you described my state of mind in an anxiety attack, and no one has been able to come close to understanding or comprehending that fear and dread that your words convey. I'm open and ready to listen to anything. Well, the first solution is quite simple. Jimmy Carr coined the idea that your anxiety isn't really a mental illness. It's the fact that you are a worrier. You worry about things. You worry about the unknown future. You worry about things beyond your control. And that worry is expressed as anxiety. But you're not mentally ill. You don't have a mental disorder. The whole world worries about something sooner or later. Look at the world we're living in. Look at how it seems to be falling apart. Why wouldn't you be worrying? Worrying about maybe finding a partner, a soulmate, getting a job, keeping a job, finding somewhere to live. There's so many things out there to worry about. We all suffer with worry. But worry is something you can treat. But if you make the mistake of declaring you have anxiety and having mental illness, you won't be able to treat it. It'll be an ongoing state of suffering because you'll be afraid of your feelings. But your feelings are God-given. They are your God-given instincts that in the face of danger, when you're anxious or when you're worried, you take some form of action. Flight, fight, freeze, fawn, faith, or acceptance. You don't stay in the feeling. You don't allow the feeling to overcome you. You accept, yes, I'm a worrier. I can worry at the drop of a hat. I can worry about the past, the future, my relationships, my situations today, the world around me, what the world leaders are doing. I can worry like mad. But understanding, worrying also means you have actions that you can do to dispel your worry. But when you declare I have anxiety and I have a mental illness and a mental disorder, you're screwed. There's no way back from that. The second thing is to understand that anxiety means you're devoid of a God in your life. It really does mean that you have so much fear for the unknown future. There's no one to give the unknown future to. But if you ask any Christian who has a belief in God, if you allow God to be your only God and don't choose a false God of anxiety or a false God of depression or a false God of any form of stress, if you decide that your God is the God of the Bible, and He's there to take care of you. And you can ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Suddenly the anxiety disappears. Because you now realize, although you have no control over the unknown future, no control over what other people say or do, if you give it to God, He'll take care of it. He'll see you through. It may be challenging, it may be difficult, but if you give it to God and don't try and take it back, you'll get through it. And suddenly the anxiety will fall away. Suddenly you'll realize, I worry, but I don't need to worry. Because if I call on God to send down a host of angels to surround me with angels 10,000 strong, and to cast out the voices in my mind and grant me peace of mind in this moment, I can have peace of mind in this moment. And all I have is this moment. I could drop dead in 5 minutes. So all I want right now from God is to give me peace of mind for the rest of this podcast. Let me sit here relaxed and at peace. Listen to Richard's voice, his message he's trying to convey to me. To set aside that diagnosis of anxiety or post-traumatic stress or depression or one of those debilitating situations and conditions that I can't fix. And this moment decide, okay, anxiety is really, I am worried about the unknown future and about things I have no control over. And depression and stress, post-traumatic stress, is being sad about what happened in the past or feeling angry or frustrated over wrong decisions I made in the past. That's all it is. It's not depression, it's not a mental illness, it's not a mental disorder. I'm just feeling sad and bad about the past, and I'm feeling worried about the unknown future or things beyond my control. When you can make this declaration to yourself, suddenly you know you can fix things. Because you can go to your parents and say, Mom, Dad, I really have a hard time letting go of the past. Can you tell me how you deal with letting go of the past? When your parents died, my grandparents, when people in your life died, or when you lost your youth, how did you deal with that? How did you overcome that? And they tell you, well, I'd write about it, I'd pray about it, I'd go to the gym, I'd work out. And you try everything they suggest. And you find one that works for you, and that you add to your army of new coping skills. And then you say, I fear and the worry about the future, about meeting people. How do you overcome that? And I said, well, simply I was told to network, to start going on speed dating, join dating agencies, get involved in more groups, take up walking, trekking, cycling, swimming, join a club, join a team sport. That way you get to meet people. And then when people are throwing a party, you meet their friends. Be ready to go out and meet people. But if you're staying at home on your couch thinking, I'll never meet anybody, you're right, you'll never meet anybody. But if you take a chance of networking and joining loads of different social groups and social societies and signing up for things at school and in college and wherever it is, in your local community centre, and being of service, going down to the RSPCA and volunteer to take care of pets, or go to the local orphanage to play with children, or the old folks' home to visit old people. Start doing these things. People will start seeing your energy and be attracted to you. And suddenly you find you're being asked out, and suddenly you're worried about the unknown future. You worry about things beyond your control will start to lose their power over you. And you'll feel more content in who you are. I believe that none of us are mentally ill unless we choose to embrace that diagnosis. If you decide to latch on to the idea of anxiety as a mental disorder, or depression as a mental disorder, or post-traumatic stress as a mental disorder, you are choosing to select a mental illness as your identity. But you're not mentally ill. You're either a worrier or you're sad about the past. You're sad about things that happened in the past to you or around you, or things that are happening in the world around you. You can be sad about the past. It's a feeling. It separates us from the animal kingdom. We're allowed to feel our feelings. They're not mental disorders. They're you being honest with yourself about how you feel. I don't like what's happening in the world today. I don't like what's happening in my family today. I don't know what's happening in my community today. I don't know what's happening in my school or college today. And you understand that's your worrying about what's happening around you. And you say, how do you cope with that? And they say, well, I'd move, or I'd change class, or I'd meet new people, or I'd stand up for people, I'd join some group and stand up for people, or whatever you do. And you try different things, and you find ones that work for you. And when you find ones that work for you and you work them into your life, you no longer suffer with worry, You no longer suffer with sadness or feeling bad about the past, because like a phoenix, you rise from the ashes. And you no longer live in the ashes. You're no longer digging up the ashes. The ashes are a thing of the past, and you're a phoenix today. You go from victim to the survivor you are today to becoming a victor, and from there becoming a helper. And you start helping other people to find your path. The path we live is from victim in the past, what happened in the past, to survivor, we're looking back on what happened in the past, to victor when we finally are able to let go of the past completely by doing all these ideas of asking people for suggestions and copying what they do, to helper, where we share what we've learned with other people. This is the goal, to go from worrier to warrior. Only you can do this. But if you stay stuck in the feelings and you deny your existence and your identity as a survivor and the ability to become the victor or the helper, and even more so the warrior, then you are doing this to you. You can't keep blaming your past, your parents, your childhood, your abusers. If today you're choosing to declare, I have anxiety, I have an anxiety disorder, you are your own worst enemy. If you're choosing today to declare, I have PTSD, I have depression, you are your own worst enemy. You're choosing this state of being. And it's a falsehood, because it's about something that happened in the past to your inner child. You only exist in these 24 hours a day. This is where your meaning and purpose and your identity of who you are is, right here and right now. What happened in the past happened to a younger aspect of you. In my case, I'm 65 years of age today. What happened in my childhood happened to a 12-year-old child. It didn't happen to the person I am today. It happened to a child in my childhood 50 odd years ago. They're the one who's the victim. Today I'm a survivor looking back at what happened to my younger self. So I can't say I have depression or PTSD or anxiety from what happened to my inner child, because it happened to them. It was their experience. They're the one who suffered it, not I. I live a lie when I declare I have PTSD or depression or anxiety or some other mental disorder for something that happened to somebody else. Can you imagine if your best friend broke their leg, and because you fell for them, you put your leg in a cast and walked around telling everybody that you broke your leg when your friend broke your leg, and because it simply pains, you've put your leg in a cast and you're walking around with crutches, but your leg isn't broken? How stupid and insane would that be? But that's what we do when we declare we have PTSD or depression or anxiety for something that happened to our inner child. We're not broken. We are the survivor today. And what happened to our inner child in the past, and it's our job to give that back to them today. And there is a solution today available. It's called Trauma Recovery Anonymous. I am the creator of it. I am the host of it. And it's really quite simple. What happened in the past didn't happen to the person you are right here, right now, listening to my voice. It happened to a younger aspect of you. Even if that person was yesterday, you're not the same person you were yesterday because you're 24 hours older. You're not the same person as you were the day before yesterday because you're 48 hours older today. And so on. You're not the person you were last year because you're a year older today. So you can't go back into the past to find your meaning and purpose, because the meaning and purpose in the past belongs to that past aspect of you, your inner child of that period of time. So what happened at 12 years of age in my life happened to a 12-year-old child. It didn't happen to this 65-year-old adult today. So it's none of my business. I must return the details and the baggage of what happened to that child back to that child, and he takes it from me, and because he now has all his baggage, he can step into the light, into the mansion prepared for him in our Father's mansion. And by stepping into the light, he's free. He leaves his plane of existence completely, and then I no longer carry the details and the baggage of the event. It's gone. I now only have the memory. Now, like all the other memories I have in my memory bank, they don't rule and define me. If someone asks me about the past, I say, yes, what happened to 12-year-old Richie was a terrible thing, and I feel deeply for him. But he's left this plane of existence, and he's taken that baggage with him, and now my life is, what can I do as a 65-year-old man today for my family and my friends and my work and my goals and dreams today? And I focus all my attention and intention on today. And then I complete the second part of this program, Trauma Recovery Anonymous, the 12 steps, to undo that learned dysfunction behavior and start to live my life over as a new person today. This is the goal of all this, to let go of the past that didn't happen to you, none of your business, never was any of your business. We're conditioned to think that we can change the past. We can't change the past, and we can't find our meaning and purpose in the past because the past happened to our inner child. It didn't happen to us. And we don't take our inner child hostage and play with them in the present. They want to leave this plane of existence, and they can't leave until we give them all their baggage back so they can step into the light. So stop playing this silly bugger game of taking your inner child, having play dates with them and keeping them hostage in the present. They don't want to be here. They're not meant to be here. It's your job to let them go. And you release them with a spiritual solution. You perform 7 miracles to let go of your inner child and let them step into the light and be free. This whole process takes 3 hours. The healing event, letting go of your inner child, takes 2 hours. And then completing the 12 steps the first time takes 1 hour. And then you do the 12 steps every day for the rest of your life. And you'll start doing the 12 steps in about 10 or 15 minutes, down to about 5 minutes. You'll ask yourself a series of questions, morning and afternoon and evening, about am I doing this, yes or no, and you'll know if you're on the right path or on the wrong path. And you can't go back because the details are taken from you. The past is none of your business, but you can give the past back to your inner child through this program, Healing Any Trauma Memory, available exclusively on the Amazon platform. And then you embrace the 12-step program of Trauma Recovery Anonymous, available on Amazon and other book platforms. And when you've completed that, you're free. You can do this on your own. You can do this with other people. You can contact me directly at appointments@traumarecoveryanonymous.com, and I will take you through the process. And my fee for this year is €60 for this 2-hour healing event, and I'll take you to the 12-step program for free. So thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to hearing from you. If you know anybody who's suffering with depression, PTSD, anxiety, any of these disorders, help them to see that disorder is a lie. They don't have a mental disorder. They will have a mental disorder if they stay embracing the concept of a disorder. The Bible tells us, the world tells us, what you focus on, you manifest into your life. The books of laws of attraction, the laws of manifestation say, what you focus on, you attract into your life. So if you're focusing on a mental disorder, you're manifesting a mental disorder into your life. You're doing this to yourself. But if you stop manifesting mental disorders into your life and see yourself as being a worrier or feeling sad, you can then change that state of feeling. It's only feeling, it's not a state of being. It's not meant to be a state of being. It's meant to be a state of feeling, which you can change. Thank you very much.